This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast 2022 tournament. We have two brackets of 16 players. On one side, 8 of the BTP Patreon members. On the other side, 8 Benchwarmers. Each side will crown a champion, and those champions will face off against each other to find out who will be the 2022 winner of the Platinum Splinter, proving once and for all that they are not an ordinary Benchwarmer. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I am not your host, Matt, but today's game will be round 1 of the 2022 BTP tournament. This match will feature Trevor Hogg versus our returning champion, David Fudor. So let's go ahead and meet the guests real quick. I think you guys all know both these gentlemen. They've been on multiple times before, but we've got some news in the world going on. So, Trevor, why don't you kind of tell the world what's going on over there with, your life and where you're at and everything?
Well, hey, it's good to be back. Since the last time I recorded, I'm a new father.
Congrats.
Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. As a result, I've never been more sleep deprived, but it's been great. It's been wonderful. And so he's asleep in the other room. So we'll see how many times he wakes up in the next while. But
trying to be as quiet.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
So yeah,
looking forward. Yeah, I'm going to whisper everything. Excited to be here. Looking forward to the challenge, and see what happens.
So those who are listening who are really into AMSR stuff, Trevor will be whispering for this entire episode. So, all right, David, how have you been, my friend?
No, I've been great. Happy to be back here. I think I got pretty lucky last year in terms of how it was formatted and all that. So I'm just happy to be back and playing again. Good to see Ryan, who I was happy enough to be on with on another podcast with some Oscar trivia. And so I know these are going to be some excellent questions today, and looking forward to it.
Good old awesome. Oscar. That was such a fun episode.
What show was that on?
Triviality had an Oscars specific little 3-episode deal, and
I remember that one.
That was delightful.
All right, well, you heard the voice and you know the legend. Let's hand it over to Ryan to take over hosting duties. Go take it away,
legend.
My friend.
Okay, so, gentlemen, I was asked and tasked with hosting and writing this year's tournament, and I was thinking about what qualities do I want in a sports trivia champion? And the first thing is you need to be well-rounded. So I'm giving you 12 questions, 12 different categories, just 1 point each. Simple, short answer. Categories will go alphabetical. So we're going to start the question over baseball. I will put all of these questions in the chat, by the way. Number 1, baseball. In 1994, Bob Hope organized the Colorado Silver Bullets, a women's baseball team who toured and played against men's college and minor league teams. What company was the sponsor for this squad? All right, Trevor, you had your answer in second. What did you say?
Didn't have much of anything. So I thought Colorado and the mountains, so I thought Coors Light. So that's what I went with, Coors Light.
And David?
I also said Coors.
It is Coors, yeah, absolutely. Well done, you two.
That worked out. All right.
It's either that or they are an anti-werewolf team. So we're going to skip from baseball to basketball, again, since we're going alphabetically. Your question is, what is the name given to the rivalry games across all sports played by the universities attended by star basketball siblings Cheryl Miller and Reggie Miller? All right, Trevor, you were in second. What did you say?
Once again, I didn't really know. I think I know one of the schools, but don't know. So I just went for a classic rivalry name, one with El Clasico.
The University of Real Madrid.
Yes,
David, what did you say?
I think I could think of the name of the trophy they play for, but I know it's not the big game. I put Victory Bell, but that doesn't sound like the name of an actual game the more I think of it, but I could not think. I'm sure it's probably something like it's USC and UCLA, but I don't know the name of the rivalry.
Victory Bell is, as the nerds know, a Pokemon name.
Oh,
The answer, it is USC UCLA, and it's called the Crosstown Cup or the Crosstown Gauntlet.
okay.
Okay, never heard of it. Great.
Moving on. We're going to go to combat sports for the next one. We're talking beating people up here. Sports Illustrated named what man's collegiate career the second most impressive in history, behind only Jesse Owens breaking 4 world records in the span of an hour. The world records is in reference to Jesse Owens, as I'm sure you know, but didn't want to mislead you. Trevor, you were in second. What did you say?
I'm seeing a theme here of me coming in second. Okay, so I thought combat sports. My mind immediately went to wrestling. I was just going to go down that path. There's someone else that couldn't think of his name, so I was waiting for one I know, and I said Gable Stevenson.
And David?
Yeah, much like Trevor, I can't name you a college boxer or college MMA fighter, but I know one college wrestler. So I went with Cale Sanderson.
From Iowa State, it is Cale Sanderson.
That is the guy. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, Cade?
Yeah.
Something like that? Oh, that's going to bug me. All right, well played.
We're going to go to football for this next one. Your football question is as follows. Which defensive captain for the New Orleans Saints reportedly offered $10,000 to any teammate that knocked out Brett Favre or Kurt Warner during the 2009 playoffs? The NFL suspended him for the entire 2012 season for his role in Bountygate. Trevor, what did you have?
Thinking of whatever Saints defensive player I could think of. So I just went with Tracy Porter.
Tracy Porter and David.
Yeah, Ryan, I had no idea on this one. I checked in with Greg Williams, who I think was suspended, and I thought maybe he might have played a little that year for the Saints, but I don't know.
The correct answer here is Jonathan Vilma.
Ooh.
Jonathan Vilma.
Good question.
Let's go to the next one from F to G. We're going to go golf. What woman, the top charting female vocalist of the 1940s, helped usher women's golf into the mainstream? From 1972 to 1999, one of the major LPGA tours was named after her, and in its current state is called the Chevron Championship. Trevor, what do you have?
I have heard this recently. This is I made a note some weeks ago, I think seeing this on TV and like, oh, I remember this question from somewhere else. I don't know the full woman's name though. I think it's Dina. So I just went with Dina. Yeah, I didn't get the full name. I just went Dina.
And David?
Yeah, Ryan, some of them, I've been thinking about for a long time. This was a insta answer just because it's the only female golf tournament I've ever heard of. Dinah Shore.
Dinah Shore is correct. Very well done. You were right there, Trevor. You're right there.
Yeah, I was never going to get the short part. Okay.
We're going to go to hockey. Slap puck, zoom, zoom. Yari Kuri and Teemu Selanne are both NHL legends whose most notable nicknames reference that they come from which country? All right, Trevor, what did you say for this one?
Those names both sounded Finnish to me. So I went Finland.
And David?
Yeah, Scandinavian for sure, but I locked in on Finland as well.
Yari Kuri was the Flying Finn, and Teemu Selanne was the Finnish Flash. So Finland is correct. Well done, you two.
So after 6 questions, Trevor has 2 points, and David has 4.
Alrighty, still close. Let's do the back 9, folks. We're going to go to the Olympics for this next one. Your Olympics question. In 1932, it was in Baldwin Hills. In 1992, it was in Brie-les-Bains for the Winter Games and Poblenou for the Summer Games. In 2000, it was at Newington. In 2012, it was in a new district called East Village in London. What is it? All right, Trevor, what did you have for this one?
Didn't know. Probably wasn't going to get it, so just went Olympic Village.
And David?
Well, I hope Trevor's wrong answer is the right answer because I thought about this for a while and I thought it was either the Olympic Village or the athlete headquarters.
Those were the locations of the Olympic villages in those years, correct? The less confident Trevor is, the more likely he has a chance.
That seems to be the way things are going.
All right, this next one's going to be over racing. Zoom zoom cars. Sometimes zoom zoom people and animals. But this one's cars. Your racing question. While Max Verstappen looks poised to win his second straight Formula One World Championship this year, what 24-year-old has earned pole position honors more times this season than anyone else? All right, David, you were in second. What did you say?
Ooh. I think I don't know much about Formula One. I think Lewis Hamilton is a driver, so I went with him.
Lewis Hamilton is a driver. Trevor, what'd you say?
Recently watched a couple seasons of Drive to Survive, so I'm at least familiar with some names. And in my little bit of reading, I know that is it Charles Leclerc has been pretty good. So I went with Leclerc, don't know how to say it, but Charles Leclerc.
The 24-year-old for Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, is correct.
Nice job.
Trust
Binging that show has paid off for this moment right here.
It's a great show. All right. Yeah. We're going to go to soccer for the next one. Your soccer question. The NWSL team from Seattle is currently owned by the same group who owns which French professional soccer team? David, you were in second. What'd you say?
I can't really, much like Formula One drivers, I can't name too many French professional soccer teams, but I do know one is Paris Saint-Germain, so I went with PSG.
And Trevor?
Yeah, I didn't know it. So it was just, I know of some French football clubs, Lyon, Marseille, whatever. But one with PSG, biggest one.
It is not Paris Saint-Germain. The NWSL team for Seattle is OL Reign, so it is Olympique Lyonnais or Lyon.
That was the first. I didn't know it. It was just that was the first team that came to mind. Oh well.
All right. This next one is sports media, which could be about television, radio, movies, podcasts, anything in the general media, sports writing. Your question. What blog, which began in 2005, used the slogan, "Where bad sports journalism comes to die"? In 2020, they expressed regrets about their site's name after the passing of a baseball legend. Trevor, you were in second. What did you say?
First name that came to mind for a blog, and then the coming to die part of it stuck out. So I went with Deadspin.
And David?
I'm almost positive the athlete is Joe Morgan. I think it's called Fire Joe Morgan.
Fire Joe Morgan is correct. Very well done, David.
Thanks.
What is the next category? This one's going to be tennis. Your tennis question. Regardless of who won, the 2022 Wimbledon ladies singles title was going to be an historic first since the two finalists came from countries that have never won a Grand Slam singles title. Name either of these two countries. You have a 2 in 197 shots.
I was just... Well, if
If
I eliminate 10 countries, I have a really good chance, Ryan. Let's guess.
All right, David, you were in second. What'd you say?
I don't know. I just randomly Chile.
And Trevor?
I was going over in my mind. Did Iga Świątek of Poland make the Wimbledon final? But I thought she got upset, and then I remembered that Elena Rybakina of Kazakhstan won. And it was notable because Russian athletes were barred from Wimbledon, and she's from Russia. But since she plays for Kazakhstan, she gets to be in. So I said Kazakhstan.
Those are great names.
Elena Rybakina is absolutely correct for Kazakhstan. The other one also made the finals at the U.S. Open and lost again, which is Ange Jabeur from Tunisia. This takes us to miscellaneous.
Should we get a little score update here going into the last question?
Well, since you just so asked, why don't you tell us, Mr. Matt?
Well, Mr. Trevor has 5 points and Mr. David has 6 points.
Oh boy.
Ooh, okay.
So miscellaneous is just any kind of sport or something that didn't quite fit into the other categories. So, folks, keyhole racing, pole bending, and shoot dogging are some of the lesser known events at what kind of sports competition?
My mom used to yell at me for pole bending. Just FYI.
Oh boy. Getting late.
I thought I'd get Ryan on that one. I didn't even get a reaction from him.
I was distracted.
So,
I
like,
giggled.
I am normally very immature, but I'm not going down that well with you.
I am not. I am known for my high integrity.
Yes, exactly.
Mature sense
It
of
is
humor.
well known. In which round are we going to have a entire area just about like butts or
Double entendres?
It's always sports butts. Sports butts always pops up somewhere. That was my bread and butter on the sports trivia face off of sports butts. All right, Trevor, you were in second. What did you say?
Once again, I didn't know, but shoot dogging sounds like a thought. Maybe this may be related to canines, and maybe the pole bending is where they weave in and out. I don't know. So I went with agility.
It's a very good guess. And David?
When you're talking about a miscellaneous sports competition, I don't think you can get any more miscellaneous than a rodeo. And I think these are all rodeo events.
They are all rodeo events.
All right.
Not barrel racing or sheep grabbing or whatever they do, but rodeo is correct. Very well done, David.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Well, our game has come to an end, and here are our final scores. Finishing with a very respectable 5 is Trevor Hogg, but today's winner and moving on to the second round of the 2022 BTP tournament with 7 points is David Fudor.
Well played,
Well played, David.
Hey, Ryan, great questions again. Trevor, great job. What Trevor knew, I didn't know. So it was one of those, it's one of these, tests where, he had 2 answers where, just great answers, but I got lucky again. So survive and advance, right, Ryan?
Survive and advance.
Yeah.
Trevor, anything you'd like to say before we wrap things up tonight?
No, great game. Consider I thoroughly enjoyed those questions, even if I didn't know it. I'm surprised myself with just getting a couple. So yeah, had a great time. These are well written. Thank you for all your work.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, thank you again for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch. Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at Benchwarmers TP.